On the second pillar, I added a lot of ergonomical aspects. Then the third pillar, I had no legitimacy because my competitors, like Patek, Audemars Piguet, Vacheron Constantin, all those brands, most of them are brands from the 19th century, or sometime 18th century, like Blancpain or others. So I had, even though many of those brands came from nowhere because they were like Sleeping Beauties, put on a drawer and they were resuscitated for marketing reasons. But I had to fight against those brands. So I had low legitimacy. And in fact, my legitimacy, I put it in the product. That is to say, where the people, for example, finish the watch machines to gain cost, to be more competitive, I decided to do everything hand finish, whatever the cost, because the craziest aspect of my concept is linked to the fact that I didn't want to do any, as I say, research, cost research, positioning research, no. Develop the product that I wanted to do as if it had been for me, and then the cost will be the result of my choices. And today, still the same. So I don't, and what could have been, should have been a marketing nonsense or economical nonsense has become a weapon. Because, in fact, sorry, when I came out, when my first watch came out, I was double the price of any watch being in the market at that time. I was, and even today, I am from very far, I have the most expensive public price in the world. There are some niche brands that are, but today I think we are such a level of volume that I would say equally this kind of volume, nobody from very far is coming to this because I'm more or less 100,000 euros public. So what should have been economical and marketing nonsense has become a weapon. And in fact, the segment that I decided to occupy was the segment where nobody had been before. So this is why nobody would have put a kopeck on my head, because everybody was, and even friends of mine bet on me that I would fail. And they lost, of course. And what was nice is that at the same time, I didn't know what would be the market. I have no idea what could be the market for such a brand coming from nowhere, no legitimacy, but a fantastic finish, hand finished, as I say, at the moment where everybody was doing machinery finish to cut cost. I thought I would have a few tens of customers in the world that could buy my watches. And as I am, I would say my brain is well cut in two, one part totally crazy, one part extremely reasonable, without any conflict. So I made a totally crazy product. Really, this product was a rupture with the existing culture at that time it came out. And at the same time, I developed a business plan extremely reasonable. And normally I've seen in my life, many people that launch their business, they did the opposite. They did the contrary. They did always very optimistic business plan with a very reasonable product because they were afraid to take risk on the product. And this is, for me, a deadly mistake. Most of the time, it doesn't work. So I was ready to sell a few tens of pieces, and I said to myself, if I sell a few tens of pieces, I am the king of petroleum. And what I didn't know is that it would become quickly hundreds of pieces and thousands of pieces. And today, the market is growing every day because, thanks God, there are more and more millionaires and billionaires in the world that are ready to accept my babies. And I cannot meet the demand. And today I am in a position where there are plenty of countries I even cannot cover because I don't have enough merchandise. So it was very interesting to see that you can come from nowhere but have a very strong concept, a very reasonable business plan. You can develop something and you can make money. Because today, it's true, the balance sheets that I have make my bankers very, very happy. So it means you can do something, and at the same time that is very that brings you a lot of good, because I love to create. In the watch business, normally the trend is to do, I would say, one new model every 4, 5 years, 6 years. And I am more in the trend to do 5, 6 new models every year. I have to refrain myself. Even 2 weeks ago, I went to the factory with plenty new concept, etc. And in the plane, I was saying, "Oh, don't be stupid. I mean, it's too much. Refrain. Because also my teams have difficulties to follow. And which is fantastic is that the clients are expecting. Today, I have also noticed that the duration of life in the high-end watch business, I speak for high-end watch business, has been drastically reduced. Before, you could come out with a line that could last for 10 years, etc., etc. Now, I do on the top line, I do limited editions, 30 pieces, 50 pieces. I kill something new. So when you do like that, and I think the watch business was in the high end was a little bit sleeping. Always the same model, the same calibers, etc. So I don't say I worked like if I was in the fashion business, but is this kind of philosophy where the duration of life of the product is very short. And this is beside the work that you have to do in terms of creativity, but beside that, it's very interesting because practically it's pre-sold. You get payment in advance, well, that is very good for the cash flow because economically speaking, it's very important. And no discount. So then, and you have also, when you do like that, when you do this kind of course, it's a lot of headaches because every new model is a headache. For example, this watch that I developed for the Massa, when we start working together, the RM4, I started the development even before I knew Massa, in fact. I started the development in 99 or 2000, and the piece was scheduled to be delivered in 2002, 2003. In fact, it was delivered in 2007. And it has necessitated maybe 40,000 hours of studies and development, etc. But this I don't care. I don't care because when I launched this product, imagine the public price could be about 120,000 Swiss francs. So not only I didn't keep the delivery schedule, which became totally crazy, but not only that, but also when the product came out, it was doubled the price that I imagined. And since I still couldn't deliver enough. So I say to myself, let's have a rhythm, a pace, as people say in the competition, in the car competition. Let's have a pace that is very dynamic. So I launched my products, whatever idea that I got, I launch. And the product takes the development that it needs. It can take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, I don't give a damn. The only problem is that it's a big mess in my references because, for example, you will RM25 deliver much better the RM18 because I give a number at the time of development. I don't give a number at the time they are delivered. So it's a big mess, I would say, in my references, but I don't give a damn because, like, for example, the watch I developed for the 150th anniversary of Boucheron. This watch is a pure marvel. My idea was to do the wheels, the train gears in the watch are normally in metal, always in metal. I had decided to do them in stone. But not only, so to do a limited edition in stone, but to make the difficulty a little bit worse, I decided that I would do unique piece, 30 pieces, each piece a different stone, like one piece in onyx, one piece in lapis lazuli, one piece in etc. So, and theoretically, I love this idea. Oh, everybody at the factory, wow, fantastic. The only problem is that the 150th anniversary of Boucheron, it was a tribute to Boucheron, was 2 years ago, and I just started the deliveries last month. So it has taken much more time than what I expected, and the level of breakage for the stone has been between 95 to 100%. So it's what is unbelievable is that all those watches have been reserved with payment in advance, and you even don't know what will be the price because I couldn't announce any price. The price finally is around 600,000 euros or something like that. But until the last minute, I don't know what is the price because, for example, in 2 weeks' time, I will deliver the piece in lapis lazuli. Today, I still don't know the price. I will know the price end of next week. So I will be able to announce to the client what will be the price he will be paying. And nobody complains. So it's nice. After that, I have also decided, from the concept point of view, you know, the world of luxury and the world, mostly the world of high-end watch business, is very turned. To me, it's getting boring, in fact. There is no... All the explanations are very technical, but they are boring explanations. Like when you explain a minute repeater, it's very boring. To me, it's very boring. So I decide to work more and more on concept. So of course, I have in my collection pieces that are totally devoted to extreme performance, etc., because I want to show that, and they are even today considered the best in terms of performance. But at the same time, I want to be open to the world of architecture, to the world of art, world of sports. And again, my fight against traditional marketing aspect made me react on a very different way. This is why, for example, when I decided to put a tourbillon watch on the wrist of Massa, everybody told me I was stupid, I was crazy, because Formula One is a killer.